Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today it's Osereme back here. In this video I'm going to be making a simple straight palazzo trouser. I got this inspiration from Stitches by Icy and I loved how mine came out very pretty as well. So if you're interested in seeing how I made this, definitely keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, the first thing I went ahead to do was to fold a piece of fabric into two. That will be enough for me to get the front part of this pant. And the top of this trouser is going to have a 1.5 inch band. So I'm going to take that 1.5 inch away from my tape to take all my measurements. So from there, this point right here, I am going to mark down to my hip line, which is 8 inches. And I'm just going to make a straight line across with my ruler. Now I'm still going to take note of that 1.5 inch. I'm going to go down to mark my crouch line, which is 11 inches. An easy way to get your crouch measurement is to sit on a chair and then take your measurement from your waist down to the top of the chair, and that's basically it. To get the lap measurement, I'm just going to come down from my crouch line by 4 inches. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come down here, this hip line here. I'm going to divide my hip measurement by 4, and then I added an extra 1 inch as stitching allowance and I marked it. Now on the crotch line, I'm just going to add 2 inches to what I have on this my hip line, and I'm going to mark it. So guys, at this particular point, instead of 2 inches, you can add 2.5 inch or 3 inches to the crouch line depending on how big the person is. Now I will just extend a straight line across from the waist down to the crouch, and I'm going to make a curve from the hip line to get to that extra 2 inch that I added to the crotch line. So this is basically how you mark your crotch. And then on the waistline, I'm going to mark my waist measurement here, and then I'm going to add 1 inch for that intake and then another 1 inch for stitching. And I'm just going to connect this waist down now to the hip line. So guys, on this tie line, I'm going to divide my tie circumference by 2, and I'm just going to mark it as well. I'll just add 1 inch stitching allowance to what I have, and I'm going to mark it. So I'm going to extend the line I have from my crouch down to meet that. Now I'm going to mark the full length of this pant, and I'm still going to take note of that 1.5 inch band at the top, and I went down to 40 inches is the length of my trouser, but I marked 43 inches because I want to be able to fold it very wide at the end. So now I'm just going to connect that line at the tie all the way to the end of this pant, and I will do the same thing for the other side as well. Now this is basically all for the front piece. Now we're just going to cut it out along the white lines. Now we're going to use this front piece to cut out the back piece. I went ahead to fold up another piece of fabric that is wider, way wider than the one we used to cut out the front, so that we have enough space to add extra inches to the back piece, and also left some space at the top as well when I placed my front piece on the back. Now on the waistline, I'm going to take a measurement, add 2 inches to the measurement I had, and then on the hip line I come out by 2 inches as well, and then on the crouch line I came out by 2.5 inches. And you know you can always add more inches to the crouch line. Next thing I did was to just connect all my dots, and then on the tie I added 2 inches, and I'm just going to connect that to the crouch, and I'm just going to mark that 2 inches all the way to the end of this pant. Guys, please, I really need you to pay attention to this part. So on this waistline here, I'm going to just make a straight line from the front to the back so that you understand what I'm doing. And then I went up by 2 inches at the top for the back part, and from there I went ahead to mark the waist measurement I have in the front, and that is 9 inches. So I'm just going to replicate that in a slant. So from that 2 inch I went up with, I am marking a slant exactly 9 inches because this is not going to have an elastic band at the back, so I want it to be exactly tight on my waist. So after that new waist, now we're just going to remove the front part of it and then connect this new point to meet the hip line. I hope you actually understand this. So we just went up on the waistline of the back and then connected it to meet the hip line, and that's basically all. So now we're just going to cut out the back piece. Now we're through with all the cutting. I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and stitch the crouch area of the front and the back piece together. So guys, after I was done stitching it, the next thing I am going to be doing right now is using my nipple to nipple measurement to mark my dart point. So I just marked it. My nipple to nipple measurement is 6 inches, so I'm just marking half of that, which is 3 inches, and I'm just going to place my dart on this point here. So I went ahead to stitch down that dart area I was marking just now, and this is what it looks like. Now I have done it for both back and front. It's time to join the sides of this pant. So this is the back piece I'm opening up right now. I'm going to open up the front piece as well and place it right side facing each other, as you can see, and I'm just basically going to head over to the sewing machine and stitch it on both sides, but one side of this is going to have a zipper, so I'm going to take the measurement of my zipper away and stitch it down from there. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done stitching the sides together. So now we're going to work on the middle part, which is this crouch area. So I'm going to ensure that the crouch area of the front and the back are aligned together, and then I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and stitch it from one end of the trouser through the crouch area all the way to the other end of the trouser. So guys, after I was done with that, this is what I have. It's all stitched down and looking very clean. Now the next thing I'm going to work on is on this zipper area that I left and the band. So I'm going to fix my zipper to the side that I left, and then this is the band I cut out. Remember that I left a 1-inch space at the top, so I just went ahead to iron my stay to one side of this band. This is totally optional, but I just wanted to add this. So this is what I'm going to now place around the waist. So as you can see, my pant, I've already added the zipper to this side here. So now we're going to place a band that is going to have button at the top. So what I'm basically going to do is to open up this zipper area, and I'm going to first stitch my band in a way that it will have an extra space outside of the zipper area, so that I'll have a space to make my buttonhole. So guys, this is what I mean. I went ahead to stitch in this band on one side just a little bit by about 1.5 inch. So when I head over to the sewing machine now to stitch this down, I'll start stitching from the side that I didn't stitch down earlier. So this other part will be for the buttonhole. So I'm just going to head over to the sewing machine now and stitch this band all the way around the waist. So this is how the band looks like. So you can see the buttonhole area I was talking about. So I'm just going to hold this place down with a pin so that it stays perfectly in place. So now the only thing left is the end of this band. So I'm just going to straighten it up and cut it very straight, cut a little bit out of it. You know, I gave it a lot of allowance when I was cutting. Now I'm just going to head over to the sewing machine and fold it up twice. So I'm going to fold it in once like this and then fold again, and I'll do it all the way around, and that'll basically be all. So that's all for this pants, guys. I've stitched down the end, I have done the waist, and everything is in place. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you find it helpful, and I hope that you actually try using this pattern. If this is your first time on here, you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.